Hi guys, is Lee from Dartford a prank caller? Okay, so Simon Marks had someone phone his show who made a number of claims. One of them was that he hadn't been bribed by the Russians to vote for Brexit, and his reasoning, if you can call it that, was pretty interesting. He then said that Labour are banning elections next May because they're running scared, fearful that Reform UK will sweep the country. There are a few problems with what Lee had to say, as you can imagine. Have a listen.
When I voted Brexit, okay, I voted to leave, okay? I'm not right-wing. What's this right? I'm not right-wing. I'm just right, okay? There's no right-wing, okay? But there was no... Apparently it was all Russia's fault. Now, when I went to the polling booth and put my X in the box, there weren't a Russian outside offering me rubles and telling me what way to vote, okay?
Is this guy serious? Is this a prank call? This sounds exactly like a prank call, but maybe it's not. I like how he said, I'm right, not right wing. Okay, he doesn't seem to understand politics either. Look, when it came to Russian interference in the Brexit referendum, the UK government back in the day refused to investigate it. Now, could it be because a significant number of Russians and a significant amount of Russian money went into the Conservative Party, even after the Brexit referendum? Remember Boris Johnson playing tennis with the wife of a former Putin minister for £150,000, was that right? To play tennis with Boris Johnson? Look, we know there was influence. There's constantly influence by the Kremlin in European elections because they want to create division. And Brexit was the ultimate division. Divided Britain from Europe. So of course they wanted to amplify bots, for example. Of course they wanted to influence the result. Now, it's difficult to find evidence because the UK government at the time refused to investigate Russian interference. But we know that we already know it takes place.
So there'll be no one doing that. So there'll be no one buying an election. This is just rubbish that people like you want to come out with.
Okay, so what he's referring to, of course, is Elon Musk pumping perhaps up to $100 million into Reform UK. And Lee is saying, that's not going to influence my vote. Well, Lee is probably already a Reform UK supporter and a Nigel Farage sycophant. So obviously, it's not going to influence him, but it's going to influence people who are sitting on the fence. It's going to convince them that Nigel Farage will be a better Prime Minister. Nigel Farage cares about the British people. That's what that's about. My goodness, do these people not understand why money in politics is a problem and the influence it has?
You're scared. What are Labour doing in May? They're banning elections. You're talking about democracy, but Labour's banning elections in May because they know they're going to get a tonking. Like what happened with the Tories when they fell out of favour and they were suffering defeats in local elections. That was going to happen to Labour come May of next year. But what have they done to get around? Oh, no, what we're going to do is, because we're changing boundaries, blah, we'll make excuses and there won't be any elections because Reform would have done well in them without Elon Musk's money.
Okay, I don't see...
No. How do you accept that? How is that right?
Well, I'm not sure that's exactly what's happening, Lee. I don't see any evidence that elections are being banned in the UK.
Elections are not being banned. Like, if the UK government said, OK, there'll be no elections next May, they'd have to come up with a reason for that. But what we're seeing instead is some elections will not take place, as I've mentioned in another video, because, for example, police commissioner jobs are being phased out or being changed, because some boundaries are changing, because some constituencies are merging. So if you have two constituencies and they merge into one, well, elections will not take place in one constituency. That's not elections banned. But where did this guy get his information from? Probably from Reform UK. Probably from a Reform UK MP who stood up in the House of Commons recently and talked about elections being banned. Now, will Labour suffer a massive blow in these elections? Probably. It's almost guaranteed that they will. They'll receive a bloody nose in the May elections because people are not happy. People are seeing their quality of life diminish, not improve. And maybe Labour will be able to pull back some support, grow some support in the future, but in the short term, they're going to suffer pretty severely, I think. And no one's denying that. But no one's... Where did these people get these ideas? Probably from social media, from Facebook, from Twitter, that elections are going to be banned. They won't be banned. The only way they will be banned is if there's some catastrophe taking place. If there's a war taking place. If there's a natural disaster taking place. Then, yes, elections would be not banned, but postponed. These people don't know what the hell they're talking about. Which begs the question, is Lee a prank caller?